So resilience.
Resilience meant forward ever, backwards never.
You have to get up.
It's being able to...
doesn't resilience lead to burnout?
Persistence.
But as long as you stick to it.
So that for me is what resilient community is all about.
When I think of resilience,
the old definition of resilience.
I would just call it the ability to...
Very tough game.
So resilience for me means...
Resilience for me...
not giving up.
I think it's perseverance.
I think it's about giving yourself the grace to make mistakes and fail.
As entrepreneurs, you have to, anywhere in life, whether you run track, I ran track back in the day, performance is based on how well you take care of yourself, how well you treat yourself. So for me, spirituality is taking care of myself, it's taking care of my mind. Challenges will happen, and when everything's great, it's great, right? But when challenges hit, when things hit you sideways, for me, it's my spirituality that helps me perform the best during those hard times. Because during those hard times, you either do one of two things. You either flounder and you fail and not learn, or you deal with the situation and you do learn. Spirituality keeps you balanced.
Today, we welcome Donte Hunt to Resilient Entrepreneurs. And we can't wait to see where this conversation goes. Donte is an example of following your passion, of doing what you love, loving what you do. And it's going to be a great conversation. He is also the CEO and founder of MediWaste, which is Bermuda's sole provider of medical waste management services. They collect and dispose of all medical waste generated on the island. He's passionate about three things, he tells us. It's family, spiritual growth, and entrepreneurship. And we're going to dig into probably all of those three things. He's spent over 20 years operating businesses that span across virtually every industry sector: retail, finance, e-commerce, hospitality, cleaning services, and tech. So let's go. Hi, Donte, welcome.
Hello, Vicky and Laura. How's it going?
Fantastic.
Okay. You just heard an audience member.
Okay. The dog's happy too. We might hear Sky, Laura's cat, and my birds. So, Donte, tell us what you love most about being an entrepreneur.
What do I love most? Great question. You know what? I truly believe that entrepreneurs are in the artist space. I like to create, and at least that's what I like to do. I like to create, and it's something special about creating. You have the latitude to do almost whatever you want. You're at the pilot seat, if you will. The ultimate, I guess, satisfaction is sometimes, I say sometimes, sitting back and looking at what you've created. And it just feels absolutely awesome. The reason why I say sometimes, because we get so stuck in as entrepreneurs, right? And so we've never arrived, right? And so sometimes we cannot just see all of what we've accomplished because, we're always looking for more and more and more. Have I done enough? X, Y, and Z. So I guess first and foremost it's creating, being a creator naturally. And we talked about this earlier. You get the sense of freedom, right? It's give and take, right? But you control what the direction of the business, and it's up to you. That can be scary, but sometimes many times it can be awesome. It all depends on how you prepare yourself when you get into a role of an entrepreneur and leading a company.
You've tapped into so many things there.
Yeah. How do you prepare? That's what I want to know immediately. Like, how do you prepare to become an entrepreneur? So some of our listeners are just at that early stage. Maybe they've got a side hustle and they're ready to go full time into it, or they're just ready to make a big change. How do you prepare to get into entrepreneurship?
Great question. You don't know what you don't know. So you're saying, well, Donte, what does that mean? And how can I solve that? Well, nowadays, probably in any jurisdiction you're in, there's an entrepreneurial ecosystem where you have companies, businesses, government quangos or government entities that assist entrepreneurs in figuring out the stuff they need to know before they start. And the awesome part about that is that you're dealing with entrepreneurs already who have been through it, and you might be able to sit down, get a chance to get some business advice. They're not going to tell you how to make your particular business blow up, but they're going to give you the basics. For instance, as a CEO, slash entrepreneur, they have to, or you have to, I have to know financials like the back of my hand. I do. Some persons will say, well, you know what, I have an accountant for that. But yes, and you can have an accountant for that. Your business might need and have so many transactions that you need somebody there day to day running those numbers and ensuring that everything's reconciled. But you need to know how to read a cash flow statement, a profit loss, a balance sheet, and understand what that means and how you can utilize that data to guide your business going forward. So that's one thing. Maybe the audience, some are thinking, oh my gosh, financials, ew, I don't like to do it. But
Yep.
you know what? And they're also thinking, I just like to do what I love, my passion, whatever that might be, fixing something, building something, selling something. But at the end of the day, you are a CEO, you are a CFO, you are a COO. You need to know operate, you need to know everything. And so that is the stuff that some persons don't realize they have to get stuck into. And whether it be self-teaching, once doing the self-teaching thing, I've done it. I love YouTube.
YouTube
You know,
University.
but I'm
Absolutely.
telling you, I mean, QuickBooks, YouTube, it's absolutely phenomenal. So
there's also accountants out there who will, not all accountants are just there to take your money and do the work. Some accountants for early stage business owners will actually train you on how to use QuickBooks or how to understand a balance sheet and what your monthly routine could look like. So I think that's another kind of insight for people.
I actually did that initially when I had a restaurant for 4 years. And I didn't know this was getting into paying employees, dealing with payroll tax, all these different moving parts. And I wanted to be able to do it myself. And that's what I did. I counted for 2 or 3 hours and called them up every now and again. Yes, it's a cost, but it's minimal because
You're learning.
It's temporary. It's on
it's teaching you how to fish instead of feeding you the fish, right? I think it's a great way to go when you're starting your own business. And I mean, I think you touched on a couple of really important points there that I'd love to go back to. And one is maybe we could talk a bit about what the difference is between a passion project and a business. Because a passion project, maybe you're not the CEO, CFO, you're really just doing what you love. But is it really a business? You're making money out of it. I feel like it's a mindset thing. But what's your view on that?
Look, if you're doing a passion project, what is a passion project, to be honest? If it's something that if you break even, you don't care. And even if you take a little loss, it's the benefit is maybe giving back to humanity, something like that. Well, that's fine. If you are looking to be in the green and grow and upscale and be what I believe entrepreneurs are, then yes, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and learn some stuff that maybe you don't want to.
Yeah.
That is the nature of the beast or the beauty, however you want to look at it.
The beauty of the beast.
You can't have one without the other. I mean, I think I would rather say either you're being philanthropic or you're running a business. But am I passionate about medical waste? I have no idea. Until I started this project, or at least started pitching to get the contract and do all the stuff in 2018, late 18. And I just got the contract in 2020, early 22, or late 21. In any rate, and so it was a long road. I had no idea anything about medical waste, but what I am passionate about is creating. And I knew that I had all the elements to put it together as long as I had the proper team that could do all the sort of technical stuff. I knew I would learn a bit, but do I need to know specifically everything about the medical waste business? Well, in time I will. But initially, I didn't have to because I surrounded myself with the professionals that could fill in the gaps. But I think, and I know, that's why networking is so important, being purposeful about your interactions, always being mindful about who you're around. Maybe that sounds laborsome, but I think it comes naturally over time. Look, I want to grow. I want to make this happen.
Yeah, you put more of you in, more of your effort into that. So take me back to when you were young, Donte. When did entrepreneurship first enter your life? Like at what stage, were you a young entrepreneur? Did you have a lemonade stand? Where did entrepreneurship first start for you?
I credit my mom. I credit my mom for the beginning buds of entrepreneurship. She would have me, when I wanted something, she would oftentimes tell me to literally write a proposal of why, one, why it was important, two, what I could do to get the remuneration, to get the funds from her, to get it, and I would do that. It made sense to me, and I was thinking, well, and that I think that's the beginning. I still am an artist. I do graphic design. I used to draw a lot before, so I am in the artist space. For me, it just felt, you know what, I can control. There was some control and some creativity there, and I could chart my future through my means. Did I know how to write a proposal? Not really. Did we have Google back then? No. But I just slapped something together and tried to be as good as I can with that proposal, because I knew if it was good.
She'd say yes.
What did you get, Donte? What did you manage to earn for yourself with good business cases as a kid?
You know what? It was simple stuff. It was like, I think back then I wanted a Nintendo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like one of the beginning Nintendos, various things. And then it branched off from there. So I started cutting my relatives' grass.
Yeah. Laura might have fixed your lawnmower.
we have a lot in common. It's kind of freaky because my first job, I've said this in my podcast way back, that my first job was fixing lawnmowers. I'd literally learned how to,
Really?
And I used to make $20 a lawnmower. Yeah, I could fix the pull handle, all kinds of stuff. Can't remember how to do any of it now, but yeah, my grandmother's friend, he just did that for a living, and he taught me how to do it, because it was cool. And graphic design. I too am a graphic designer. So that is pretty awesome. And I love what you said about all entrepreneurs are creatives. And I do believe that too. I think it's the creation of something, and not necessarily an artist, like a fine artist, but we're all artists in how we create. So love that. What would you say is your greatest achievement so far? What are you most proud of?
My greatest achievement has nothing to do with business or entrepreneurship. It's just, I don't know if I could say it as an achievement, but it's, my family, the love of my daughters. That has very clear and direct lines to the impetus of why I do what I do, and I push where I have to and where I want to in entrepreneurship. One could say freedom, but also one could say, the remuneration, the funds that I make from MediWaste, really, for me, I'm a very simple person. I don't need much to survive, but it supports the happiness and joy of my family. And so that is valuable to me, very valuable to me. Yeah, it's so achievement. I've been blessed with a beautiful family, 2 great daughters. Yeah, it just equals my impetus to do what I'm passionate about, which is entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it's your why to be successful. And Donte, you also mentioned spirituality is important to you. How does that play into the person who you are in home and in business?
As entrepreneurs, you have to, anywhere in life, whether you run track, I ran track back in the day, performance is based on how well you take care of yourself. How well you treat yourself. So for me, spirituality is taking care of myself. It's taking care of my mind. Challenges will happen. And when everything's great, it's great, right? But when challenges hit, when things hit you sideways, for me, it's my spirituality that helps me perform the best during those hard times. Because during those hard times, you either do one of two things. You either flounder and you fail and not learn, or you deal with the situation and you do learn. Spirituality keeps me balanced. I make a practice every morning. I wake up early, very early, just before the gym. And that's what I go to the gym as well. That's part of my balance. I do my spiritual thing, head to the gym, and that's all before the day starts. And then I kick in. And at that point, I'm ready. I'm ready to deal with whatever. And when nothing sort of hits the Richter scale, then that's great. I'm still ready. I'm ready to do whatever I do. But if something does, I'm ready for that as well.
Yeah.
Keeps you earthed,
We
keeps you
love-
grounded.
Yeah, we love a
100%.
good morning routine. We love to hear about a good morning routine. It's definitely a factor in a lot of people's success. Every big, successful, famous person will give you their morning routine and why it is so important. So now we talk about success. Let's talk about failure. What's your mindset around failure? And have you had any spectacular ones?
Oh yeah, I've had like fireworks. Firework
I want to
failures.
know. I want to know.
Woo, I'm telling
We
you.
embrace failure on this episode, on this podcast.
Yeah, no. So at the time, the failure felt massive and huge. It's how you deal with them. At the time, when I had my biggest failure, it's devastating. It was devastating, hugely, and it's hard to look at it when you're in it. When I say in it, it's happening. It's hard to smile and say, "Oh, this is a great learning opportunity. Ooh, great! I'll use this later. Wonderful." It hurts as an entrepreneur. Trust me. And for the audience, I'm sure you got startups considering starting, and those who are just new to it have had a little bite of that failure. But I can tell you from experience that the failures that I've had has led me to MediWaste, and the skill set, the mindset that I have today. Resilient entrepreneurs. This is the title of what we're talking about. That you got to be resilient. You ask any entrepreneur who you see today as successful, and many might believe, oh my gosh, how do they get there? They will tell you they have been to hell and back. Nobody sees that part. They just see all the great stuff and the millions and everything's going great. But yeah, resilient entrepreneurs. You're resilient because you deal with failure and you extrapolate all the experience and the things that will propel you towards success. Yeah.
I think to know that you will always get through it. Like you mentioned, when you're in it, it feels really bad, but to know that it will not be that bad always and that you will always get through it. And I always say that it'll work out in the end. And if it hasn't worked out yet, then you're not at the end.
100. Yes, exactly. And know that other people's been through it.
Right. That's a good one.
I'm talking bad. I mean, you think your situation's bad? Other people have been through it. And I think the mindset needs to be, yes, resilience, but okay, so now what do I do? Now what do I do? And you keep on seeking what you should do and keep on propelling yourself towards that's all you can do, because as soon as you fold, you've lost. You've lost. And then we're all winners as entrepreneurs. We're all winners, always.
Can I just take you back to something you said in the beginning about how you've never arrived when you're an entrepreneur, how you're always seeking or chasing or building, and you get to that place where you've done something magnificent, yet it's not quite enough. It's that personality trait that I think a lot of us share. Can we talk into that a bit?
It's an imperative thing, right? Because you have something called competition that's always knocking on your door. And so naturally, you always want to know that you're doing it right. You're doing it in the most efficient way. Your expense side of your profit loss is as lean as it can be. On the revenue side, you're being as innovative as you can be. You're staying in tune with the trends of the day, and not staying in tune, but hopefully you're at a point where you can set the trend. And so, Amazon, Bezos says that they are always in startup mode. They are always in startup mode.
I love that.
And that's synonymous with, you never arrive. You're always in startup. Okay, we're here. Because there's a cyclical nature of a success of a business. I mean, we take a look at Blockbuster. It's an age-old case study. It's a beautiful one where, they wouldn't think it's beautiful, but it's a beautiful one where, they rode the wave. They were a startup. It was a great business. There was a lot of demand, but they got complacent. They moved their mindset from startup rule to have arrived and were not a startup. And what happened? They didn't innovate. They didn't transform themselves. So you had the likes of Netflix come in, take the mantle, if you will. and
Yeah.
others. But
Blockbusters could have been Netflix.
yeah,
The
100%.
first one.
They
Yeah.
had the capital. They had
content.
they had the clientele. You know, they
The
were there.
trust. Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything, the
Trust.
brand,
Yeah.
yeah, brand, everything. Yeah,
Providers.
it's an interesting story to study for sure. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but that speaks to technology, right? And I think a lot of people fear new technology coming and taking something away from them. Right now there's a rise in AI. It's all everybody is talking about in this space. We're hearing it all day, every day. There's people that are nervous. We're finding new stuff. Vicky and I stumbled upon a really cool AI site last night. We're really excited about learning more on. So what's your thoughts on when technology comes, how do we get past the fear of, oh my God, what I've built, I'm going to lose, in that same space of staying in startup mode? What do you think about adding the new technology that's coming at such a rapid pace into that?
Well, I think technology is yet just another element will potentially affect your business. Similar to competition, similar to new products or new services. It's the mindset of the entrepreneur that would allow you to ride that wave and get ahead of it, as opposed to being under it. And the mindset is, I will do what I have to do in order to stay above board. AI is going to come. So if it does affect it doesn't affect every business. For instance, if you're a carpenter, it might in some capacity. I don't know, but guess what? Start learning about it if it potentially does, right? So, and it goes back to what I said earlier. You got to get out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to learn things that you kind of don't want to. I mean, this is maybe the ugly part of being an entrepreneur, but it's the real part. If you want to be ahead of the game, if you want to be successful, if you want to upscale and grow, well, no pain, no gain.
I also have a favorite
totally.
expression that fear and excitement are the same emotion. Only fear is without the breath. So if there's something that might be something that shows some fear, or what is this going to mean for our business? We could breathe into it and say, yeah, I'm excited about this. I'm embracing it. How can I help it work to my advantage? How can I take advantage of it now, get ahead of the curve, as you said, Donte, and really apply this back into the business to make us even better than we are?
Yes, I happen to love learning new stuff. And now, over the years, I just love learning new stuff, particularly if it has anything to do with nurturing my baby. What is my baby? It's my business. And so if it's going to nurture my baby, I'm all in it. I'm all in it because your business is your baby. And when I say your business, it's a lowercase b. I just made that up. It makes more sense. I say business because your business as you see it today might not be the business that it is tomorrow. Could be some pivoting in there. There could be some more than a pivot. It could be like a 3,000-degree turn, like you're spinning. But it's your business is the creation that you have made. It started at one point. It could be something else, but and also entrepreneurs allow yourself to allow the business to morph. Because what happens is entrepreneurs, we get attached to the creation in our mind, and it's got to be this way, and it's going to be that, and it's going to be great, and we try to fit everything within this particular idea, and we don't allow it to sort of morph, and we don't allow ourselves to allow it to morph, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's tricky too, because on one hand, you want to try to protect it as much as possible and not let outside influences change your idea, because that can often be a problem for entrepreneurs, because we are often start out, at least as solo entrepreneurs, with this idea in our mind, and then we start talking to others, and then you stop talking to others because you don't like all the outside influences. A really tricky balance, especially in the early stages. So what do you tell people? Because you work for BEDC, which is Bermuda Economic Development Corporation, and you help out and support and train and build and grow these amazing entrepreneurs. What do you tell them, when they're in that phase of, just the ideation part, and they're worried about too many influences, and my mom says I should be doing this, and your loved ones are saying this, and everybody's saying, how do you protect and balance between your idea and allowing it to grow and morph into a successful business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So your idea is your idea. You may have gotten this idea based on assumptions that you have based on assumptions. Those assumptions could be, things that have you've seen. These are external factors that you're saying, well, you know what? I think I have a solution to this problem. Entrepreneurs naturally, this is exactly what we do. We solve problems. And so you're like, look, I've got this solution. And that's the ideation phase, right? Believe it or not. Nobody comes up with an idea because they just woke up and boom, I should make widgets. It's some external force that says I should do that. Now, once you get to that point, the first thing you should do is validate those assumptions. So there's no balance between people talking to you and your idea. There's zero balance. You need to talk to people. Forget about balance. You need to talk to people so that they can validate your idea. Yes, you'll go to family. Family is probably the weakest group of people to validate your idea. You need to go out to people you don't know. This is oftentimes I'm between an introvert and extrovert, but I can be very extroverted. So I don't mind talking to people. I can go out, and most times I don't really care what they think, but I'm going to be very sensitive, and I'm going to have a plan and go out and validate my assumptions with regards to my business. You got to do that, and the more people you touch in whatever platform that you desire, whether your platform be yourself, I think that's the best. If you go out yourself as much as you can, right? And then other platforms, surveys, you name it. But you have to be willing to be wrong, right? You got to be willing to be wrong about your idea. Or, because if you're not, on the flip side, that can hurt you financially, emotionally, you name it. If you go ahead with your idea with blocking your ears, closing your eyes, I know it's right. You got to put in that work. I know that the passion is, you know what? I got to get this idea going. It's got to get feet. I need to get a loan. I just need to go and it's going to work. Nope. Wrong. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Oh, look, have there been lottery winners in the entrepreneurial space? Yes. What do I mean? What is Donte talking about? Lottery winners. Well, have there been individuals that, come up with, they had an idea, they're in the ideation phase, and they just went, bam, gung ho, give me some money, boom, and it blew up. That's a lottery winner. And what is a lottery winner? 1 in a billion, 1 in a quadrillion, 1 in whatever. It's a lottery winner. It's not how you do it. You've got to go ahead and validate those assumptions and make it as much as you can foolproof, as much as you can. There is still that risk, but you want to minimize that risk. That's what I'm saying.
But Donte, if I tell
Yes.
people my idea, somebody's going to steal it.
Sorry.
Right? That's what everybody says.
I
That's
hear
what
that all the
fears.
time. You know what? My response is to that is I can give a blueprint to making a business or an idea. I can give you a blueprint. Ideas do not make money. You're not the first one with this idea. You're not. And you won't be the last. Entrepreneurs make money. Entrepreneurs make an idea successful. Entrepreneurs go that extra mile. Entrepreneurs wake up early. Entrepreneurs learn the stuff that they want to. Entrepreneurs find out what other successful entrepreneurs have done to be successful. Entrepreneurs do it. It's you, right? So blab it out. Blab it out. It's okay. Get it out there. Talk to people. Find out if it works. Ask if the pricing is good. Ask if the widget should be green or yellow. Ask if it should be this size or that size. Ask if the service should be whatever. You gotta and you've got to record this. Get that data. Data is king. Data is king. Record that data. Learn how to, or figure out how to utilize that data to your benefit. And work that bad boy through. And this is why I say you have to know your financials. That's one of the key That is. Now, you're saying for a new entrepreneur, why don't I have financials? It's financial projections are massive, cash flow projections, and that will help you in pricing. It would help you into understanding your break even and how your what you should pay yourself as opposed to what you think you should pay yourself as opposed to what you can pay yourself. It will tell you, it will give you a timeline, if you will, in terms of when you can do phases. So financials is key. Financials is key, 100%. I would say that's the first thing you want to be as good as you can be with financials, particularly if you're starting out projections.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Donte, you've said it all. You have said it all. And I think this is such brilliant advice for people at any early stage of their business, whether it's an idea or whether it's they've started and they're wondering where to go next. And I think it's important that we remind people that if they're in Bermuda and they're in that situation, that they should most definitely, or can most definitely, reach out to BEDC to get the kind of support that you were just talking about. And it's so valuable to have, to know that there's mentors, there's support, there's real factual information, there's people who are willing to help, and BEDC ticks all of those boxes. And then also, of course, to surround yourself with a like-minded community, which is the community we provide through the Level Up League, just to know that you're not in it alone, which is a lot of the things that we've talked about today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, if I could talk about the BEDC, I mean, and some of the stuff that we offer. My team, we do business advice, virtual, it's free. It lasts about an hour. You can do as many as you can. And you're going to talk to persons like myself and others who are passionate. We have 8-week courses, which we've utilized you guys to the point where maybe we stop paying you.
We love doing it.
And then we have webinars and seminars. But, 2 for 1, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. You're great entrepreneurs, polished, and I love working with you guys. But yeah, the BDC is a great source, financing as well, but a great source. And you are, the audience, have an excellent source here with 2 for 1. So great job, guys.
Oh, thank you so much. We do have one question that we need to ask because this is Resilient Entrepreneurs. So what does resilience mean to you?
Resilience is being able to take a hit and get up and still going. I'm talking about a hit that knocks you out emotionally, physically, it drains you, and you get back up and you get right back on that horse and you say, well, why did I get hit like that? Okay, well, that's why. You learn from it. So you're able to duck. I don't know why I'm using a boxing analogy, but it came to me.
I like it.
Yeah. And so you get up. Resilience is never giving up, definitely. I mean, that's the definition of it. But as an entrepreneur, knowing that you will get hit hard, but do you have to? You don't necessarily have to. The reason why many entrepreneurs, including myself in my earlier days, got hit pretty hard, going along with the analogy, is that I didn't realize, back then, I'm 45 now, so back then, back then, we didn't have these amazing entrepreneurship ecosystems that we have today, where you have these incubators and these accelerators and MSME, micro, small, and medium enterprise sort of quangos out there that are part of government in a way. We didn't have all of this support. What this support does, it's providing you the ability to reduce the knockout factor. Yes, you might have failures, but maybe it might be a little jab. You can kind of rub that off. So yeah, even a jab could hurt sometimes, and you still got to get up from that. So the point is, resilience, it's all about moving toward your goal, come what may. Getting up, doing it again. Trust me, if I could tell you the dollar signs that I've lost in entrepreneurship, well, it's relative, I guess, but for me, it hurt. But on the flip side, here's the glorious side. The glorious side, I would say that MediWaste, my business, MediWaste, culminated, well, its success and its creation was born from all of the things that I've learned through failures and through resilience. And I utilize them now almost like naturally. It just comes very easily now. And MediWaste is, for me, the biggest achievement I've gotten. It's a multi-million-dollar company, so I'm proud of it.
Should be. And not to beat your boxing analogy to death, but it certainly is important to have people like you in our corner for all of us entrepreneurs out there as we're trying to be resilient and build and create and be artists all the time in our own businesses. And we're so grateful for you to join us today on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. And we'll include everything in the show notes, how to get in touch with BEDC and take advantage of some of their incubators and other programs for businesses so that we can, just get that little bit further ahead faster. So thank you so much, Donte. Really appreciate you. It was an amazing conversation.
My pleasure.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing you again soon.
Totally.
Thanks for joining us on Resilient Entrepreneurs, and please subscribe to this channel to be notified of each new episode. We love supporting entrepreneurs, especially with mindset, marketing, and motivation, which is why we feature entrepreneurs from all walks of life in various stages of business. We hope their stories will inspire and encourage you to keep doing what you do well with resilience. We've also created this space for an incredible community of business founders who meet weekly in our membership called the Level Up League. If you want to know more about it, look us up online at 241branding.com. See you next time.